What's up, guys? We're the Powers, and we're back. And we just took a trip up to New York, and so we want to spend some time talking about that. So
we had an amazing time, guys. We drove up to New York from Virginia, which is not bad. It's maybe 6 hours?
About 6.5, 7.
6.5?
Around there, yeah.
I didn't drive a lot. But it was pretty smooth. We got to stay in a great Airbnb on Staten Island. I highly recommend staying outside of the city.
Yeah, it definitely was a lot more affordable.
Yeah.
Our Airbnb was $361 for 3 nights.
Not
and
bad.
We were close to the ferry, so we were able to take the Staten Island ferry over every day. And
Pass by the Statue of Liberty every day.
Yes, the Statue of Liberty, it was awesome. I mean, you really got to see it.
She is a queen on her own, period.
Yeah, it was cool. So definitely recommend, if you can, get a little bit outside the city to save a little bit of money.
Yeah, it was great. But let's get into exactly what we did.
So started off, first off, we went up because it was her birthday. So happy belated birthday.
Queens are born in July, y'all. Remember that.
A Cancer would say that. So we got in Sunday night and we decided to hit up a vegan spot in Brooklyn. So we're on Staten Island, so it was a little bit of a journey to get up to Brooklyn. Had to go from Staten Island to Manhattan to Brooklyn and back. So round trip, including eating, it was about 4.5, almost 5 hours.
Let's just
crazy.
say we left Sunday night and we didn't get back until Monday morning.
That's real. Let's show you guys the food that we had while we went to Brooklyn. We went to a spot called, what's the spot called?
Rose Diner.
Rose Diner. So we had done some research. The food looked phenomenal, so we decided we were gonna check it out. So what did you end up getting?
Well, we should give him a little background on Rose.
Okay.
Because Rose sits in the place of a previous very, very amazing diner called Champ's Diner. But Champ's Diner unfortunately closed, I believe during the pandemic. Don't quote me. I'll have to look that up. But Rose took its place and stays open until 1 a.m. And us being from Virginia, where everything closes by 8 o'clock, it was so nice to be able to get in late and get some great vegan food.
Yeah, it was. And the food was phenomenal. I'm gonna go ahead and jump in.
Okay.
Because I had this cheesesteak, and I'm not the biggest cheesesteak eater, but this cheesesteak was great. I can't imagine a cheesesteak tasting better than the one I had. It was really good. Now I was also really hungry, and as my mom says, hunger is the best seasoning. But it was good. I feel like if I wasn't even as hungry as I was, it would have been great. So you guys can see here, this cheesesteak, it looks great. It had onions and peppers. It was great. Definitely fresh off the grill. It was awesome. How about you? What'd you have?
What I wanted to get, unfortunately, was not in. And so I ended up getting a burger. And if y'all know me, I am not a burger eater. I don't really like burgers. I'm just not a big burger person. But I decided to get a burger and it was really good. And I have to say, at first I was a little disappointed with this service, but they totally made up for it. I mean, they gave you great food and great service. So hands down, I would highly recommend Rose. You can check out this burger. It just looks like a really good vegan burger. I feel like if you were a meat eater, maybe you would like it. I don't feel like it gave you that it's a fake meat burger. You really got just good, tender, juicy burger with some great seasoning.
Yeah, it looked good. So we ended up getting back to Staten Island, sleeping, and going right back to Rose on her birthday the next day. Because we actually weren't planning to go to Rose Sunday night, but we got in a little later than expected. And the spot we wanted to go to, Red Bamboo, was closing. It closed at 10, so we would have gotten there around closing time. It wouldn't have been ideal, so we decided just to skip that and go to a place that was open later. But we had originally planned to go to Rose Monday morning for your birthday.
Yep.
Right? So we went right back to Brooklyn and went back to Rose for brunch.
Yep.
And brunch was great too. Brunch was really good. You want to share what you got?
Oh, I think brunch outdid dinner by far. Again, what I wanted to order, they were out of. But what they had left, the pancake bucket, y'all, first of all, 4 very good sized pancakes. You give any human being 2 good sized pancakes and they halfway stuffed. Okay, you got 4 pancakes. I had tater tots. I had egg scramble. Oh my goodness, that bowl was delicious. I was so sad that I couldn't take it with me because we had a whole day of events planned, but y'all, I tried so hard to eat all of that. That thing was so good.
Yeah, it looked good. It looked good.
But not as good as your full plate.
I gotta brag on my plate. My plate, it looked good. So one tip before I get into it that led to me getting this is Alex is really good about checking out restaurants' Instagrams. And so I hadn't even necessarily thought of that. I'm always looking at the menu and she was like, oh, this is the Insta. And so I looked and I'm like, oh, this looks good. So I saw something I liked and I was like, I'm gonna try this out. So it was a plate with pancakes and sausage and bacon and I think it was a tofu scramble as well. But it was phenomenal. The pancakes were like a cinnamon swirl.
They looked like a cinnamon roll. They looked delicious.
Yeah.
I was so jealous I couldn't get that in my pancake bucket.
They were really good. I crushed. It was amazing. There was nothing left on my plate. It was great. So yeah, that was good. And then that was how we actually started our Monday, hitting up Rose. And then we headed off to maybe the most famous park in the world. I don't know, I'd like to think it is, but headed off to Central Park for a couple of activities you want to share about what we started off doing?
So for my B-Day, I wanted to go bike riding in Central Park. We had seen some activities to do. We'd been there about 4 years ago and all we did was walk and we didn't even make a dent in Central Park, let me tell you. So we decided to bike and we rode through almost all of Central Park. It was great. We found a really nice guy on the street who was advertising for the bike tours. I'm sorry, not bike tours, bike rentals. And we ended up getting great prices on our bike rentals. And we actually ended up biking past the next activity that we had planned. Y'all, let me tell you, Central Park biking is not for the faint of heart, okay?
It is tough. Tougher than you would think it would be.
You need to be in like grand shape to bike through Central Park. I don't know why they put so many hills in that thing. I was gasping for breath. Me and this lady, and shout out to the runners who were like who were in their 70s still getting it. We were humping, busting our humps, trying to get over that hump. And I was lagging behind her. Okay, I need to get my cardio up, y'all, first of all. But great trip. Highly recommend get in shape before you do it.
It was crazy. We started off, I don't know, different parts. I guess it was like Central Manhattan, but we started off, I think, on like 57th Street, and we ended up going up to like Harlem. Central Park is huge, so we went from 57th, I think, to like 110th. And we biked it and we got up there fairly quickly. And there was this one part, it was my favorite. It was so awesome. It's like this big curve where you just like, you don't have to pedal, you just ride it down. And there's quite a few spots like that where you get to ride it, but this part in particular was just like super long and it was awesome.
It was like riding on a bicycle roller coaster. I mean, you're riding like, y'all remember that little piggy from the commercial where he's going, wee? That's what it felt like.
Yeah, it was really cool. And so we biked for about 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
No, 2 hours?
2 hours, yeah.
About 2 hours.
We had it for 2 hours. That was another thing. They gave you like some extra buffer time. Because I think we only purchased it for 2 hours. But she gave us like an extra like 30-minute buffer time, which was great because honestly, you never really know where you're gonna get stuck or, where you're gonna get slowed up or, how much time you're gonna need to stop and gas for oxygen. So that buffer time to get back without penalty was amazing. Highly recommend bike rentals.
Yeah, it's a great way to see the whole park. We saw parts of the park that we didn't see before we went to the Central Park Zoo, our last trip. But walking around, I mean, it's so big, you just can't really put a dent in it unless you have a bike, or, you know, they also rent electric scooters. Might do that next time.
Yeah, I was really envying all the people on those electric bikes. That's what me and the lady saying. We said they were cheating because they got the electric bikes. They did. They cheated. They should have been huffing and puffing with the rest of us.
Yeah, they definitely are making it look easy compared to what we were doing. We were struggling. But after that, Central Park has some lakes in it as well. And they actually have this boathouse where you can rent rowboats. So we rented boats for an hour, or rented a boat for an hour. And it was really cool. I mean, you really get to see a different side of Central Park. You know, just being off the path, being able to see the skyline, but also trees. Like, it's hard to describe.
Yeah.
You know, it's just really awesome. It feels like a getaway from the city. It feels like you're taking a step into nature. You know, you can hear the cars, you can see things, but you still feel like you're away from the hustle and bustle.
Definitely. It was so serene, so peaceful. And yeah, sure, you're out there with like a whole bunch of other people, but it was easy to kind of get away. And it's so far, like it doesn't look very big on the map, but once you get out there and you're rowing, there's so many different avenues and stuff that you can take. It's beautiful. We didn't even get to row the whole lake. Oh, we gotta show them shots under the bridge.
Oh yeah, these pictures are awesome. I mean, honestly, if you were to rent the boat for like 3 hours, that would probably be the time needed. Because I mean, we had it for an hour, and I mean, we got out a good ways, but we had to turn around. But there was still a lot more to explore.
Yeah.
So I'd feel like next time we probably need a good 3 hours to really get out there and see, you know, the parts we want to. But it was awesome, great views, highly recommend it. You knew we were gonna be active, and so we planned ahead, and we have YMCA memberships. So I did some looking around, and I found a YMCA that was close by.
Yes, you did, y'all.
So we ended up being able to use our memberships to actually go shower and change at the YMCA near Central Park, which was clutch because Staten Island takes a while to get to. So it was not really practical to go back to Staten Island, change, and then come back, but that would have taken up probably around 2 hours just to do that, maybe 3. That would have taken a lot of time. So I would definitely encourage you, you know, if you have a gym membership, definitely check to see if there's any in the area, because that's definitely a hack, a travel hack to, you know, make sure that, you know, you get to maximize the time you have on the island on Manhattan. After that, we went to our second spot to eat.
Yes, which was
Urban
Vegan Roots.
Yes, Urban Vegan Roots. This place was a vibe. It was so awesome. It was in Queens, but not hard to get to at all. And it was awesome. It
was probably like the best decorated, just fun, energetic vibe that I've seen. I mean, the walls were just plastered with decoration. You can tell that the owner really put his own heart into it. Like you get to see like his character come out in that restaurant, and the food was delicious. The specials, delicious. I am a pizza lover, so the fact that I got to get pizza on my birthday.
Yeah, what kind of pizza did you get?
Oh, I forgot. Pizza. I got the Hollywood special.
The Hollywood special.
So I ended up ordering the Hollywood special, which was so delicious. It had a Korean barbecue seitan with Numu mozzarella, which is my favorite vegan cheese, by the way. Red sauce, a special ranch. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce this ranch, and sesame seeds.
And I got a Hawaiian pizza, which I love pineapple on pizza. I know there's some people who feel like it doesn't belong. I am definitely not one of those people. I love pineapple being on pizza, and it was great. They had the Numu mozzarella, which I agree with Alex. I think is by far the best cheese for pizza out there, vegan cheese. And it had a vegan ham on it and pineapples. It was phenomenal. And also Monday nights, for them is buy one get one free pizza night. So it was awesome. You know, we got 2 pizzas for the price of 1. They were great. And you know, we got to talk to the owner. He was awesome. We had a great conversation with the owner, who we're hoping to actually get the interview at some point.
Yes, we would love to have him come speak with you guys and share. I mean, his vision on veganism is amazing, and he's got some great nuggets that I think are worth sharing.
Absolutely.
And Mike makes friends everywhere he goes, so. I went to the bathroom, came out, and they were chit-chatting.
Just started talking.
Such is life.
That place was awesome. And I think after that, we headed back to Staten Island. We were pretty tired from the biking and rowing and all the traveling. You know, we were pretty tired. So
Yes. I think tip-wise, I would say if you're going to go to Central Park and do the day in Central Park, get a good night's rest and get up good and early so you have enough time to bike and boat. I would highly recommend doing both, because boating after biking, it just feels cool. You're on the water, you're already sweating. It's the perfect time. It's really serene. You get to kind of rest those tired legs. Highly recommend doing it all in one day, but get a good start, get a good early start, and then get a good night's rest. And don't plan on walking much the next day.
absolutely. It took a lot out of us, for sure. So we headed back to Staten Island. I think we caught the midnight ferry. So the ferry runs every 30 minutes, which is nice. We got back probably about 12:45.
Yeah, 12:45.
12:45ish. Yeah, our Airbnb wasn't too far from the ferry station, so about 10-minute drive. But next day we headed to, where did we go for breakfast? Brunch.
We actually slept, well, somebody slept through breakfast. I mean, somebody slept till like noon, almost 1 o'clock.
No, it wasn't that late.
It was late.
It was late though.
It was like noon.
It was late though.
It was like noon. So
It
we
was.
actually didn't do breakfast that night. We just did lunch.
But we also had to make a pit stop somewhere before brunch, because we had to buy someone some shoes. Because someone left their shoes at the Y. I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to say names.
I hear static.
So Staten Island was clutch in that there are outlets actually adjacent to the ferry, like right there. So we're actually able to go to, we went to the Nordstrom Rack outlet and Nike outlet and kind of compare shoes. We ended up finding her some shoes and me some shoes. Not there. I got shoes later. But we ended up going there, and then the ferry was like right there. So we went, parked in another parking lot and headed over. So we got to Manhattan probably like 1?
Maybe
1-ish.
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
It was in the afternoon.
It was definitely the afternoon. It was later than we anticipated.
Much later.
But we headed over to Brooklyn.
Yes.
And we went to this place called Heartbreakers. Yes. And it was a cool little spot.
It was groovy.
Groovy. There we go. That's a good way to describe it. When you see the logo, it makes sense. I will say that what I got a beet burger, but it was double stacked. And it had cheese, and it had crispy onions on it, and it was bomb. It was so good, and it came with a good amount of side of fries, and it was really good. I was definitely satisfied with it.
Yes. Oh yeah. He was loving that beet burger, y'all. And for somebody who did not love beets before, is growing into a beet lover. Yes. It was perfect. Not quite as impressive as my wrap though. Y'all, my wrap, first of all, the wrap was huge. Like, y'all know Chipotle's large tortillas? I feel like it was bigger than Chipotle's tortilla. It was huge. The wrap, and it was just that good quality wrap. It was so good. I'm sorry, tortilla. And it was stuffed with tofu scramble. I think there was vegan sausage in there, veggies, cheese. I mean, it was just a hodgepodge of everything, every good breakfast food you could think of. I think it even had hash browns in there. Every good vegan food, breakfast food you could think of was in that wrap. and it melted together in just utter deliciousness. I just see the shots. They were phenomenal.
Sounds like you really liked it.
I would order that thing again, 10 out of 10. And they also have an interesting little bakery section too. That we were able to get some of their little day-old scones. I think it's great that they sell their day-old scones for like half price. There's nothing wrong with the day-old scone. I didn't think it was much of our cup of tea, but they have some great bakery items for you to try. We just don't know which ones to recommend.
They do. It was interesting. It was like I think it had blueberries. No, it had chocolate chips and cardamom.
Yeah, it had chocolate, but it also had some berry in it too.
It had some berry. I can't remember what it was, but cardamom is an interesting spice. I couldn't necessarily decide if I liked it or not, but it was interesting. It was. I mean, I feel like I would have to try it again just to like really make a decision on if I liked it. But it was, it was interesting.
I guess we know what I won't be cooking with in this house, y'all. It's cardamom.
The jury's still out. After we stopped by there, we're actually really close to a couple of thrift shops that we wanted to try out. And we went to one called
L Train Vintage
/
Urban Village.
I can't remember.
It was two. It was in Brooklyn, right? Urban Jungle.
Okay. L Train Vintage
/ Urban Jungle.
So we think there were two separate ones, but they joined because this thrift shop was huge.
Massive. It was massive. I mean, you walked in and you walked through the first part and there's like a ramp. And I think they just blew the wall out and connected both stores because the one store was massive. I mean, racks upon racks of clothes, of hats, of shoes, everything. Everything was there.
Any and everything you wanted. I tried doing some shopping, but it was just too much going on for me. I was like, oh man, I can't, I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going on here. So we ended up actually, we didn't find like any clothing that we really wanted, but we actually found some shoes that we liked. And so we went to check out the shoe section and we got, you found a pair of Adidas.
I found everybody's shoes because if there's one thing I can do, y'all, it's pick out some sneakers, okay?
She is good at picking out shoes.
So I actually found one pair that I was really interested in, and mind you, I'd already bought a pair of shoes that morning, but when you find a good pair of shoes, you just can't pass it up, right? Like, you find a good pair of sneakers, you're not passing those up. And I found a phenomenal pair of sneakers. And then I found one that kind of looked like it matched for him.
Yeah, so I'll show you guys right here. But yeah, these are cool. They fit really well. I didn't think they would fit well, but they fit really well. And I love them. Really comfortable. $30. You can't beat that at all. It's nice.
They were great. So all in all, we walked away with 2 pair of shoes from those stores. And I would highly recommend going back for the shoes. And also for the clothes. I would give the clothes a second round. I would. There did not seem to be any try-on stalls. So if you're looking for a place to try on, sorry ladies, I don't think we'll find it. But if you just go there for jackets and little vests and stuff, so you can kind of throw over. They've got a huge mirror. I think it's double-sided, so you can all see, check yourself out. But yeah,
cool. I didn't try anything on. After we left there, we had to get ready.
Yes, because we were going to a baseball game. Go Mets!
Went to a Mets game. It was definitely entertaining. So once again, we went to the YMCA to change. This time we went to one in Flushing in Queens, and it was close to the stop where the game was going to be, so we decided to go ahead and head that way. It was cool. YMCA was what we needed to, change and freshen up again.
Yep.
When we went to the game, they actually had they won't let you bring backpacks in, but they actually had a locker storage truck out in the parking lot, so you could just go there, and it was $12 a bag, but you can store it there, and then it's easy drop off and pick up.
And if you have a really big bag, you're able to put one smaller bag and the big bag, and they'll just charge you for the one bag. So that was our great little hack.
We enjoyed the game. We didn't necessarily eat at the game. I had popcorn. I love popcorn, so.
And it was good popcorn, I have to say. Like, he gets popcorn every opportunity he can. Target, movies, of course, any event, carnival, theme park, he's getting popcorn. But this popcorn was really good, I have to say. And I'm not a big popcorn eater, but it was good popcorn.
It was really good, and that's something that is great about being plant-based. A lot of popcorn in facilities and stadiums and venues and all that are actually vegan, because a lot of the butter is artificial butter, things like that. So it allows me to be able to eat popcorn, because I can't go to an event really without popcorn. They had other options as well. They had this place called, I guess it's designated Vegan City, where they have different options like nachos.
Yeah, they had nachos. They had the Beyond sausages where you could get like onions and peppers put on it. I think they had a vegan hot dog. We looked up their menu, but I still had pizza left over, and honestly, we were still full from Heartbreaker. So it was just, we didn't really explore that. Maybe we'll make another trip up there and explore that and tell you guys more about it. But they have options. So if you go, let us know.
Then after that, we headed back to Staten Island. We left the game a little early. The Mets were up 11-4, I believe. And then shortly before we left, the White Sox started coming back. So it was 11-9 when we left. The Mets held on to win 11-10 from what we found out later. But it was an exciting game. There was a lot of action. After that, we headed back to Staten Island and left the next day. Yeah. But it was an awesome trip. A lot of experiences, a lot of good food. It was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I would definitely 10 out of 10 do it again. I would love to go back, because we found there's a vegan restaurant on Staten Island that we were talking about stopping by before we left. But honestly, we just want to get on the road and get back home. Missed our kitty cat. But next time, you guys will definitely get that Staten Island restaurant included with pictures and a full review.
So, do you have any tips for people who are maybe doing some traveling and they're like, how are you vegan if you're going out of town? Like, what are some things that you feel like are helpful for people?
Oh, that's a great question. The big thing is search your route and kind of plan out your stops. I like to have several options for where we're going to stop, depending on, where we're going. I generally have an idea of what restaurants can be found along the route, because this guy likes to eat, and I like to make sure that he eats, because a hungry Mike is no fun.
I get a little hangry, so.
But yes, I would definitely say do your research on your stops and check out Instagram for where you're gonna go. That was honestly how we chose a lot of the food that we ate. Everybody has an Instagram now, so check out their Instas. They're gonna make their food look good, but you're gonna get an honest view of what their food really looks like.
Yeah, I agree. I think those are great tips. And some places are going to be easier than others. New York is like a vegan mecca, so there's no shortage of places to eat. So it's just a matter of kind of discerning, like, okay, I'm going to try here or there, because it's going to be impossible to try everywhere. But maybe you can plan out your route. Like, okay, we want to hit Central Park. What's close to there? Blah blah blah. We personally didn't necessarily do that. We just kind of went all over. Like, we were pretty much in every borough but the Bronx. So, even though we weren't close to Brooklyn or Queens, we made our way over there. But, there are ways to go about that in a way where you're planning your activities, and there's bound to be a vegan place close, because they're everywhere in New York.
Is there a borough that you would say has the most vegan options?
It seemed like Manhattan had a lot of options, but Brooklyn seemed to have a lot of options as well.
Yes.
I think if we had to spend the most time in two boroughs, if we were focused on food, it would be Manhattan and Brooklyn by far.
Definitely. I think Brooklyn definitely has my vote. I think 2 of the 3 restaurants that we went to were in Brooklyn, right?
Urban Vegan Roots was Queens, Heartbreakers was Brooklyn, and Rose was Brooklyn. Yeah, so 2 of the 3 restaurants we went to were in Brooklyn.
Yes. Yeah. So I would highly recommend Brooklyn. for your vegan travels. There were some honorable mentions. We did not get to make it to Brooklyn Whiskers, but I am telling you guys, I am going to make it to Brooklyn Whiskers, and you are going to get a full review because those donuts are calling my name.
Those pastries, what they have, it looked amazing.
It looked delicious.
So
those donuts are calling your girl.
So yeah, we've definitely got other spots. There was a spot we went to in 2019 called Red Bamboo, which I'll show you guys what we got a few years ago, but the food was really good. You get a lot of food for your money. It goes a long way, especially in New York. The prices are really good. The food is really good. I mean, it's up there. We didn't get to make it this time, but definitely our next visit. And that was the spot we actually wanted to go to Sunday that didn't work out. So if that tells you how high up it is on our list, we were going to go back there.
Yes, we were definitely going to indulge. Make sure you get up there before 8 o'clock.
For sure. For sure. Well, we hope this was helpful for you guys. Thank you guys for listening to our trip, and hopefully, you guys are inspired to try some of this food on your next trip to New York. But it was awesome. We enjoyed it.
Yes. Thanks for watching.
All right. See you guys.